Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday morning, November 9th. We'll focus in on Tropical Storm Nicole this morning. Still a tropical storm with sustained winds at 70 miles per hour, just on the verge of reaching hurricane status, Category 1. The requirement there is for 75 mile per hour sustained winds or higher, and it certainly can reach those levels in just the next few hours as it closes in on the east central part of Florida, likely to make a landfall late tonight into the early morning hours on Thursday. Here's the latest infrared satellite imagery loop from the College of DuPage weather website, getting a little bit more organized, a little bit more focused in terms of its inner core here as it continues to move over very warm waters in the southwestern Atlantic Ocean near the northern Bahama island chain here. And again, it could very well become a hurricane Category 1 status over the next few hours, even a slim chance of going all the way up to Category 2 as it moves westward. Likely landfall right in this region right here, east central Florida, in the wee hours of the morning, anytime from, let's say, midnight to about 3 or 4 a.m. This could make landfall in east central Florida. Then it'll start to turn to the north and northeast as it becomes increasingly influenced by a very strong upper level trough that will be moving from west to east across the northern U.S. Here's the latest official forecast track by NOAA's Hurricane Center. In general, I agree with this outlook here, and they depict an H right here representing hurricane status by, let's say, midday today. I agree with that scenario. Very likely to become Category 1 hurricane, maybe even an outside chance Category 2, then makes landfall in east central Florida late tonight, early tomorrow. And then as an upper level trough continues to push to the east across the northern plains, southwesterly flow aloft will cause Nicole to turn sharply to the north and then ultimately to the north and east. And looks like it'll kind of ride up along the spine of the Appalachian Mountains. And that does a couple of things. First of all, it includes areas to the north and west of the Appalachians in that heavy rain zone that we can expect during the next 48 hours or so. Really, this turns into a heavy rain and wind event all the way from Florida to Maine throughout the eastern states with this kind of a storm track. And in those areas on the right side of this storm track, let's say all along the I-95 corridor region down to the coastal sections from New Jersey to the Delmarva to the Carolinas, this area right in here, that will be kind of the prime zone for the potential of strong to severe thunderstorm activity, maybe even some isolated tornadoes, and certainly some very strong wind gusts, perhaps up to 50 miles per hour or so, even at inland locations on the right side of that storm track. When you're on the right side of a northeastward moving tropical system in this part of the nation, you're primed to get some isolated tornadoes, and again, winds can get up to 50 miles per hour or so, even in places like D.C. and the suburbs of Philadelphia, for example, out of the southeast or ahead of the storm during Friday into Friday night. The heaviest rainfall likely to be Friday night, but really anytime Friday in the mid-Atlantic region there can be some rainfall, and that continues throughout the night on Friday night. So again, the core, the remains of Nicole likely moving up along the Appalachian Mountains, and then it becomes kind of an extratropical storm by the time it reaches the mid-Atlantic region later Friday night into the early morning hours on Saturday. Again, to the right of the storm, watch out for the possibility of strong to severe thunderstorms. Well, in terms of potential rainfall, this is a depiction of the total precipitation amounts from this storm by NOAA's Weather Prediction Center. Again, looks like a heavy rain event all the way from Florida to Maine, including all of the eastern states, and it goes well to the west of the Appalachian Mountains. With that kind of a storm track, let's say right along the spine of the Appalachians, that puts some heavy rain to the north and west, and it also increases the chance for some strong to severe thunderstorms on the right side of that storm track, in this case in the coastal plain region, all along I-95 and all the way to the coastal sections of New Jersey, Delmarva, down in the Carolinas. Watch out for strong to severe thunderstorms, maybe some isolated tornadoes damaging the wind gusts as well. But in terms of rainfall, heavy rain all the way up through the eastern states from Florida to Maine due to the effects of Tropical Storm Nicole. Well, let's walk through the zero-Z run of the Canadian model here. We're looking at the surface maps. Here is Nicole as we begin the day here on Wednesday, and again, it could very well become a hurricane later on today, certainly by the midday reports. It could be a Category 1 hurricane. An outside chance at a Category 2 makes landfall late tonight. Then it becomes influenced by this strong upper-level trough that, by the way, will result in some accumulating snow across the northern plains. This will help to steer Nicole first to the north and then to the north and east, as southwesterly flow ahead of that approaching upper level trough will cause a sharp turn in Nicole. And let's move forward here. This is by Thursday evening, and the storm is again headed for the Appalachian Mountain chain here and will move north and east. Watch out to the right of that storm track. By this particular time, this is later on Friday night, everywhere to the right of, let's say, this storm track here will be in the more unstable atmosphere with the possibility of strong to severe thunderstorms, maybe isolated tornadoes, and very strong wind gusts as well. Colder air pours into the Midwest by later on tomorrow night. Then we move forward here. The system scoots away. By the time we get to Saturday morning, starts to pull away to the north and east, and at this time, especially in the overnight hours of Saturday night, you get the influx of cold air. The pattern changes to a colder pattern. It certainly becomes more noticeably cold on Saturday night, and Sunday itself and Monday much colder than normal in the northeastern part of the nation, and certainly temperatures could drop to well below freezing levels late Sunday night into the early morning hours on Monday in the mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S., as that colder air pattern sets up in the wake of Tropical Storm Nicole. So expect a significant rain and wind event throughout much of the eastern states from Tropical Storm Nicole over the next 24, 48, 72 hours or so. And again, Nicole could very well become a hurricane later on today. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.